Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you're joining us, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome. Today we'll be learning how I made this beautiful, lovely skirt. So let's just get right into it. I've laid out my fabric. Here I'm taking my length, the length of my skirt. I did 22. Please make sure you use your measurement. Then I'm connecting it. I'm connecting a straight line to it, making sure my lines are aligned. Then my waist measurement is 8.5. Please make sure you use your measurement. My waist to my hip is 9 and my hip measurement is 10.5. Then the measurement I use for the baseline, I use 10. I minus 5 from it instead of 1 inch because I don't want it too tight. I want a bit free. So please, if you want yours tight, you can minus 1 or you can minus more than 1 or 1.5. Then I'm adding my sewing allowance, 1 inch sewing allowance all around my measurement. I'm going to connect, then cut out. Make sure I blend off all the sharp edges, then I cut out. So I've laid it for the back panel. Then I'm going to I will mark out the base. Get the base a straight line for it so that I know what I'm doing when I'm placing my measurement. So I went in by 1 on the waistline. That's my zipper allowance, and I marked my hip line there, and I came out by 1.5, and I'm going to take 5 inch downward. Then I'll go in again by 1 inch, connect it straight, and connect all the markings. Now that's my zipper allowance. I actually, that 1.5 I did there was to create an arc, like the hip is not your boot, just give it ease. Then I went in by 1 on the waistline of the back measurement because that's for my dart allowance. I usually, if you're already watching my videos, I don't put most times I don't put that in my front panel, especially for skirt or for pant trouser. It depends on what I'm making though. So that was my that allowance for the back. So now I've connected them and I've cut out. So go ahead and do yours. I'm notching my zipper allowance for the back. Ensure to notch, and I've indicated the upper part of my skirt and the down part by with an arrow so I can know what I'm doing, especially for the back because of the shape it has. So now I'm putting my dart allowance, and I went down by 7. I'm going to connect it to the waist. So connect the allowance. I use 0.5, 0.5 for both. So that's 1 inch. So I'm doing that for the other side of it. I'm transferring it on the other side of it. Here I'm going to teach you how to secure your dart before you stitch if you're finding it difficult to stitch your dart. And we're doing this method in this one because it's not a pattern we're drafting directly, so that I can be able to cut out my facing, because this skirt is having a facing, it's not having a band. So now I'm securing it with a loose running stitch. I'll do that for the front and for the back. You go ahead and do yours. So it's assumed we've sewn our dart. So now I can place my skirt and cut out the band for the back. So I'm folding my fabric for the facing. Do yours. Then place your fabric and cut your fabric out. Don't mind my voice. I feel anyways, now I'm cutting out. Cut out yours, and I did an eye gauge, but I think it's 3 inch. I went down, yeah, when I calculated it later on, it was 3 inch. So it can't be, it's from two downwards, not too much, not too short. If you make one is going to be popping out. So you have to go down for maybe by 2 inch or by 3 inch. The 3 inch, when I'm done sewing and all that, I'm supposed to have like two, because I'm going to weave it and I'm going to sew to the skirt. So I'm going to have like 2 inch left. So you see that it's okay to do three. That's the length of my facing is what I'm talking about. So I've gone ahead to, I'm cutting out for the front as well, and I'll pin it round, checking if it's accurate, and you know, putting my notch there to make sure the notch is there. So I've gone ahead to cut out for the front and the back. So I've sewn my dart. I've sewn in my dart. I'm going to show you how to rip the loose stitch off with my seam ripper. You just loose from the edge and from maybe the middle point and just draw out the thread. That works perfectly. For you to place your facing, you have to really sew out your dart. So which I've done here. I did that for the both skirt. So now I'm placing my facing. I'm going to take it to the machine to sew. Make sure to pin your fabric so that you have a firm grip of your fabric when you're sewing. It makes your work neater. So I'll sew, I'll top stitch, and I'll flip it to the other side. Same for the front. So let's go to the machine and sew it. I'm going to stitch on 0.5, which I've done. You can see the stitching, and I've gone ahead to top stitch. If you have an hemming gun, you can sew with the hemming gun. Then when you flip over an iron, it's just going to lap. So same for the front. So we're going to add it together, pin, and take it back to the machine to sew on the allowance we put. The allowance was 0.1. I use 1 inch allowance. So sew on your allowance, take your measurements, cross check, then you sew. That's my zipper allowance there. I'm going to seal it right towards where the zip is going to be, because this skirt has a front slit, so there's no need to have a back slit for it. So I'm going to close the back and leave my zipper only where to insert my zip. And my zip, I went down my zip. I usually, it ends maybe 8 or 9 or 7. That's where I use for my zip most times. So do yours. I don't exceed 9 for it. So right now I'm pinning my fabrics together, the front side, the front part, and making sure, very important to note, your waistline has to align So the excess coming out from the facing doesn't really matter, but the waistline has to align. It has to align with the base of your skirt. Very, very important. I took it to the commercial weaving point to weave. So, most times they just eat out your fabric. So it's always advisable to finish sewing before you take it to the commercial weaving. Very important. If you don't monitor them, they just do whatever they like. So there's me pinning my skirts together. Then let's go sew it. Then hem it. I use hemming gum for this. I really do not like it. I will still top hand tack it, because what I notice about that hemming gum is after a while it makes your cloth really neat, but after a while when you wash, the it starts going out, and if there's no light to press before you wear your clothes, you're gonna have so here, these are what I'm using for the skirt. I'm using a bias to turn it. I didn't get a bias color that matches my fabric, even the zip. So this is a leftover fabric that I used for a tutorial, a jumpsuit tutorial, which is on my channel. You can check it out if you've not. So this, I'm taking my dart from the waist. I'm going to connect it straight. It's just a guard to know where my slit is going to fall. And I went for my slit. I did 5.5. The skirt is a mini skirt, it's quite short. So anything that makes me exceed that 5.5, it's going to be too revealing my laps too much, because I have a long leg. And so do yours, use your measurements to cross check where you want yours to be. So I will just use the bias to turn it, then fix my zip, and here we have it. Our cloth is ready. If Please make sure to subscribe, like our channel, give us a thumbs up, and share our video if it's helpful, and comment. This help our video. When you watch, you like it. This is the finished look of our skirt. The tutorial on how I made this stuff is on my channel. Please do check it out. Thank